So let's take a step back from SparkMath and look at Spark in general. So those of you familiar with Edulastic may be realizing that this is a new content offering that Edulastic has. SparkMath is actually the first of our Spark playlist offerings. The others are Spark ELA and Spark Science. And then we're building out ELA into new modules, and we even have Spark Computer Science coming, and a Spark Social Studies offering that's going to be available for anybody with the paid access. So anyway, we'll talk about SparkMath specifically. Like the other SparkMath or Spark playlists, it really does have two things that all the Spark playlists have, which are pre-built playlists, and that include additional content and additional activities within Edulastic. What SparkMath has that the other subjects do not is curriculum-aligned playlists, and we'll be talking about that specifically. There's actually three that we align to, which is Illustrative Math, Go Math, and Eureka Math. And then we offer the opportunities for differentiated practice, and then we can see insights on student effort and performance. So this is what an example of a playlist looks like when it is underway. And for those of you that have been in Edulastic for a while, or pretty new to Edulastic, you'll see that this is a new screen for you. It shows where I've assigned specific modules, how much time students have spent on those modules, how the proficiency is looking, and what other assignments I can go ahead and assign. And this is where I go into the insights area to look at performance, not only measuring effort, time spent in SparkMath, but also how well they did. And then there's differentiated practice. And so for differentiated practice, we'll get the results. And this is unlike anything that is in Edulastic besides SparkMath. So for example, let's say you assign some work in SparkMath, a test, and you'll see that students are then categorized in 3 different categories after the test. You'll see one student here in this demo class is at the review work area. So they need some additional review. And in this case, we're kind of covering, this is a Common Core standard, 8.ee.a.3, but it could be that this student, based on a low performance of below 70%, needs some more foundational work. So you'll see that these are foundational standards that are leading up to this Common Core standard that SparkMath is assessing. So you might realize that there's a couple that could be of benefit for the student. You select those, then you go ahead and assign those to the student. So the student will get some additional practice based on what's been prescribed to them from Edulastic and what you've decided based on the recommended practice, what they should get. And then there's those students who are in the middle of the pack. In this case, there's 0 in this class, but I'd imagine in most cases there'd be more than 0. This is just reviewing the current standard that is, or standards that are being assessed by the current Spark test. So in this case, we can give them some additional practice based on, with very similar questions to the ones that they've seen before on the Spark test. And then finally, we have challenge work. So this is for those students who have gone above and beyond, in this case, above and beyond 90%. And we're going to give them all of these. So now we're moving above and beyond the standards that they were assessed on for Spark, and we're going to challenge them to kind of get to the next level and see if they can take their understanding further. So the good news about these Spark assessments is they're organized in an easy to use playlist. You can assign whichever activities you want from there, and then you have the opportunity for differentiated practice based on the percentage thresholds that their activity found themselves in. So anyway, this is very unique to Edulastic, and I think a really great aspect of SparkMath. And then there's an insights area where I mentioned that we show time, the effort that they put in as well as the scores. So we're looking at these, in this case, these 4 students. We're looking at performance and we're seeing which students were the highest performing, and then also time spent. So we can see which students are spending the most or least time in Edulastic. So you get, real-time data on student understanding. You can track growth, you can track standards mastery, and this goes above and beyond just this view that you see here. And then specific feedback for students promoting ownership. So anyway, I would be remiss if I didn't, before the live demo, at least encourage you to give SparkMath a free try. From the free teacher account, I captured this image of where you would find the free trial. Right now, I'm in the free teacher account. I'm on the dashboard, and I see the arrow pointing to free trial. I can click that free trial, and it's going to give me a free 2-week free trial of SparkMath for your friends who are teaching other subjects, or if you are teaching other subjects too. That free trial can also cover Spark ELA, Spark Science, and the other topics as well. So anyway, encourage you to do that. But before we do that, I thought maybe we'll explore SparkMath. Of course, you can start that free trial right now, just so you remember to do it. But I'm going to jump into a premium teacher account. So this already includes access to SparkMath as part of the subscription that I have. So let's say I'm a teacher, I'm in an Edulastic Enterprise district-wide subscription that has SparkMath. In fact, it has all the Spark playlists. So I can go ahead and assign a playlist for my class. So how would I do that? Where would I go from here? So here I am in the dashboard, and the dashboard is in the top left here. And I might be tempted, the first word I see here below the dashboard is playlist. So I think, wow, this is where I need to go. This is not where you need to go. Refrain from that and actually go down and find the library playlist area. So this is my playlist. We're going to get to this in a second. But first we need to find a playlist to add to the My Playlist area. So right now, because I'm new to SparkMath and haven't used it yet in this example, I'm going to go to the library playlist to find the right playlist for me. So right now I'm filtering by 7th grade math and SparkMath. This is what this looks like unfiltered if you have all the different Spark options and everything. But you can find for your grade level what's available. You might be wondering what is available at the different grade levels. SparkMath is available for grades basically K through pre-calculus, so K through 11 basically. But in this case, I want to look at grade 7. That happens to be the class I'm teaching at the grade level. I'll click on math, and then I'll click on, rather than Edulastic Certified and some of these other things I'm used to clicking on, I'll click on SparkMath here. And there's 4 options for SparkMath, and the options each cover the whole academic year. And the options include SparkMath that's standards aligned. This is not curriculum aligned to any specific curriculum, but it is aligned to sort of a common sequence that we would see for a 7th grade math course. Again, this is aligned to Common Core standards. And so it is our, sort of SparkMath playlist that can be used for any curriculum. You can certainly decide when to assign specific tests and things of that nature, but it provides sort of a good layout for you to select that. In fact, let's go ahead and look at details here and see what's involved in this. So again, we tried to design it to meet a lot of varied needs. We looked at the curriculum for the other subjects, and I think we kind of found a center of gravity here, where this sequence should make the most sense according to our content team for 7th grade math, covering Common Core standards. So here we can see that the module progress. There is no progress yet, but there are 8 modules here. If we scroll down, we can see all of them. We can click this to see what's available here, and then we can look at the different modules. And everything's been published. We can see which standards it covers, and we can click here to preview, specific tests. In this case, it's a quiz, and we can see a multiple choice question. We can show a hint. We can go to the next question. Again, multiple choice. We can click that hint if we want to. There's drop-down questions, and there's the ability to type in an answer. Just look away. I just blindly guessed. Here's another opportunity for dropping down to answer a question, another multiple choice, and that's what that looks like. So you have the ability to preview these tests before you give them. And again, they're organized in this playlist sequence that we think makes a lot of sense. So anyway, I'm going to go back. This isn't what I was looking for. I wanted something appropriate to my curriculum for math. And so I didn't want the standard alignment. I wanted something more specific to, let's say, Eureka Math. So here is Eureka Math. And this is where I might find what I'm looking for. For some of you, you might think, well, I want illustrative math alignment. So this is where this is. Some of you may be interested in the Go Math aligned product. So that's where this is. So Eureka Math, in my example, is what I am using. And I really do like that the Edulastic content team has created this playlist that aligns to the Eureka Math sequence in which things are covered. And it covers the standards in the same order and at the same level that the Eureka Math content curriculum does. So anyway, we'll go ahead and look at these details here and see if this is really going to meet my requirements. And I like it. We try to adopt the same language of the curriculum. Again, this isn't, for those of you who know Eureka Math, you know that it's created by the Great Minds team. This isn't using their content, but this is content that's custom fit to meet the same sequence and standards that curriculum is designed around. So it's kind of like, I think about my iPhone, right? And the iPhone case that I have is from a company called Otter or something like that. And it perfectly fits my iPhone, even though the case wasn't designed by Apple. Consider the SparkMath content from Edulastic to be similar to that. We're working to really complement the existing curriculum choice that you've made. So anyway, here we are in the different modules, and I can see this topic a quiz for proportional relationships. Let's go ahead and preview it, see what kind of content it has. So here's a multiple choice question, and here's another multiple choice question, another one, and yeah, we'll go ahead and submit. So that's interesting. It's a 4-question quiz. Let's say we like that. Let's go ahead and use this one. So I'm going to use the 7th grade SparkMath Eureka Math aligned playlist. So once I click on use this here, we'll enter the name of our playlist. So we're going to say Eureka Math, SparkMath grade 7. And so I'll go ahead and click save. So now it's moved me to my playlist. So I'm no longer in the playlists area, sort of shopping for a playlist, so to speak. Now I'm in the My Playlist area, and this is when I can go ahead and start assigning things to my class. So you'll see that I'll have access to this insights area, and that'll populate. It'll show time spent from high to low, high performance from low to high. We'll be able to see this student information. We'll also see differentiated instruction. And so these areas are just waiting to be populated with the performance data that's about to happen once these students complete their first assignment, which I'm about to assign right now. And again, we'll see a summary of activity here. We'll see proficiency based on the different modules. And then we can go ahead and assign these modules. So we'll go ahead and click assign. I'm going to assign this playlist. I'm going to select a class. So I'm selecting my SparkMath class. And the students, all students in selected class are specific students. Well, let's see. Well, yes, let's give them all this assignment. And let's go ahead and have this assignment available to them for 1 week. Maybe this is less of a quiz, more of sort of a homework assignment. Of course, you can use this in any way that you feel is meeting your objectives. We try to be, somewhat neutral in that way, and just give you the tools that you need to make this work out the best for your specific implementation. So anyway, the open policy, because of the fact that I'm looking at it more as homework, I'm just going to have it automatically begin at the start date. Now, if I was using this as a quiz on, for example, Friday, and this is counting meaningfully towards their grade, I may want to open it manually in class once I see all of the students in front of me, their phones are away, they're looking straight up ahead, and I can see that they're ready to take the quiz, and that, I can sort of watch over to make sure that the environment is suitable for a formal assessment. And then finally we have this close policy. I'm going to automatically do it as I am with this, just because in this example that I'm talking about homework. There's also test behavior that's available. So we can make this a practice. If we don't want to count it towards a grade, we can make it a class assessment. There's release scores options. So let's say I don't want to release the scores to the students, or maybe I do want to release the scores but not show them the questions again, or I can show them the scores and their responses, or then finally I can release the scores, student responses, and correct answers. So I'm able to do all of that. Do I want a student-facing calculator provided by Desmos? I can say yes, and it can be a basic calculator, scientific, or graphing, whatever makes the most sense. And then we can determine whether it's a timed assessment, and if so, how much time should they have to complete it? And if they left, can they save and continue later? Or once that 10 minutes starts, is that the only amount of time that they're going to have, even if they leave the application? So you can determine that as well. There's a lot of anti-cheating features, and a lot of these features that are available with SparkMath are part of a premium subscription. So here we have and so for those of you trying SparkMath from a free account, you can also get a little bit of a sampling of what premium access looks like. Premium, by the way, is $100 per teacher per year, and it provides a lot of additional security, a lot of additional in-depth reports, and a lot of additional flexibility, and the text-to-speech read-aloud accommodation, and more. So anyway, let's say we want to shuffle the question order. Let's say we want to shuffle the answer choices. We can do all of that or not. And maybe we want to have it so students have to complete it in one sitting, etc. So then we're going to go ahead and determine if we're going to auto redirect things to students, what that would look like, as well as miscellaneous features. So anyway, I'm going to go back. I'm going to open up the test window a little bit longer, just for my own purposes here. Just so I have enough time to complete all this work, because I do want to do it as these sample students. So anyway, let's say we like these settings that we set up. Let's say that in general, we don't really want to review these settings all the time. And in general, we kind of like what we've done here. We can actually save this whole configuration of assignment settings. And we'll save this current setting as my SparkMath setting. Of course, you may want to call it different things. This is my bell ringer, this is the quiz, this is the homework, this is the group assignment, whatever the case may be. This is just my generic name for it in this case. So then we'll go ahead and assign the SparkMath assessment to students. And this is when then I can go to the live class board to see their performance. And this was a short quiz. It was 4 questions. And we can start to see that student performance populate once those students complete the assessment from SparkMath. So anyway, that's the full workflow from being able to find and set the right playlist in this playlist area, going to my playlists and going ahead and assigning a playlist to my class. And then, once they go ahead and we start seeing this work populate, we'll also be able to see insights and differentiation. So we can assign specific assignments to those individual students. So I know we have about 5 minutes left. I thought I'd leave a little extra time for some questions and answers, but definitely encourage the free trial. I mean, it's 2 weeks, and definitely encourage you to check it out and see if the content meets your needs, if it's going to provide some added value for achieving your objectives for the 2021-2022 school year. And I'll pause here and just open it up to questions.
Thanks, John. That was great. I learned so much personally about SparkMath, having just joined the company last month. So I'm sure everyone else found it just as informative. And as John mentioned, feel free to sign up for the free trial from your Edulastic teacher account, and you'll be eligible for the 2-week free trial. Regarding questions, Randy has a question about her SparkMath account. So she said, my district used SparkMath last year. When assigning differentiation, there was no opening date like when you assign other tests in Edulastic. It assigned the differentiation immediately in Google Classroom, and only offered as a close date for the additional practice. Can that be modified?
Yeah, I would definitely reach out to support@edulastic.com to request that modification. SparkMath and Spark in general are new product offerings. And one thing that we pride ourselves in Edulastic is being really customer-centered in what we provide. So I definitely encourage you to reach out to support@edulastic.com, and please suggest those improvements. We've already actually made some improvements as far as editing playlists and things of that nature based on feedback that we've received. So encourage you to let the support team know, because we definitely will convey that to the product team, and they can prioritize their development based on the urgency and popularity of these specific requests. And oftentimes, as you may know with Edulastic, there may be features that you've wanted, and suddenly you find them in the platform, and you realize that, oh wow, some people must have requested it. So we're very customer centered in that way. So encourage you to reach out to them.